So now let's take a look at drawing ceiling domes and ledges here in Illustrator. And we're going to do the same thing we did with domes and ledges, create a brush over here, the same kind of brush, but the thing that's different is the way that you draw the ceiling dome and ledge. You would think that, oh well, okay, I can just draw a line, draw another line, draw something up here, draw something right there, and then copy this and drop it in like we did before. But it causes all kinds of weird problems and things don't line up quite right if you do it that way. You draw your line and you might have an empty line by itself here and then a dash over here, and so it just gets really weird. So what I've done to get around this is use the pen tool instead of the line tool or the pencil tool. Let me show you how you go about doing that. First of all, what I need to do is click right here to start setting a point. We looked at this a little bit earlier, and then I'm going to find the midpoint. So I'm going to click right. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and click right here. The reason I hold the Shift key down is because it draws a straight line as opposed to being slightly angled. And now I'm going to come up at a 90-degree angle. Again, hold the Shift key down and click. Come back down here, and right below where we were, hit another point. So I've drawn a point, 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 all holding the Shift key down. And then I'm going to come over here and draw one last line. And that's it. So I don't want to click anywhere else because if I do, it's going to continue the point. But what I can do now is come over and grab my black arrow and now select this as its own thing. So I've drawn that. It really has 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. But once I have this created, what I can do at that point is grab this, hold the Alt key down like we did before. I'm going to drag over a copy, however big I want that gap to be. Draw another one. And 3 is probably plenty. I can select them, and then let's use our align to make sure they're perfectly spaced. Looks like they are. And one last thing that I need to do, if I turn this into a brush, it's going to join this end with this end when I draw out. So it'll look kind of weird. So what I need to do is create an invisible line right here that creates a gap that's about that size. So I'm going to grab my line tool, and right here I'm going to click and drag over. It looks like the gap's about that big. And right now I have a stroke applied to it, but if I come down here, select this, and let's see, where is my no stroke? There it is. I'm going to come down a little bit to show you. So here's my stroke selected. I've got the line selected. There's my stroke. I'm going to click this no fill. And now you see the line still exists, but it has no stroke or fill. So when I select everything, I want to make sure I get that line right there. This is a spacer. And now let's grab our brushes. There's our brushes. Grab this, drag it and drop it. It's going to be a new pattern brush. Hit OK. I'm going to call this ceiling, ledges, and domes. I will hit OK. Everything's good. And there's my symbol. So I can go ahead and delete this now. Let's draw a line like we did earlier. Let's say, zoom out just a little bit. Say after we go down this ledge, we hit a ceiling ledge. And I'm going to go ahead and click this to apply it, and there we go. And if I don't like the sharp ends to it, then I can go back. Let's actually do that. Let's go back. I'm going to undo, and let's grab all of these here. Actually, I don't want that empty one. I'll just grab these 3. Let's go into our stroke. Let's make it rounded on the end. And now, let's see, rounded on the end, but then also, this is a corner. So I need to make the corners rounded. Right there. Beautiful. Now let's grab everything including that invisible line. Oops, I missed it. I'm going to grab them, select them, and group them together. Let's see, let's move up just a little bit here. To object, group. So now it's one object there, and I'm going to grab that and brushes. Let's drag it. It's hard to grab lines sometimes. Grab it, drag it, drop it. Same thing, new pattern brush. We'll call it domes and ledges. I'm going to hit OK. And there's our brush. Now let's go ahead and delete it. Zoom out a little bit. Let's draw. Let's grab the pencil tool. I'm going to draw. Here is my dome or my ledge. Let's apply it. If I wanted it to go the other way, I'll just delete that. Start it over here. Apply it, and now it faces the other direction. And then I can go ahead and draw, let's say you go under the ledge, and then all of a sudden you come to this cool looking dome. There we go. And again, if I want it to stick out instead of in, then I'm going to delete that shape, start drawing it this way, apply that, and there we go. So that's how you go about creating a ceiling dome or ledge symbol using a brush in Illustrator. A little bit more complicated in drawing out the little hash mark using the pen tool. The pen tool is always a little more complicated. But once you get the hang of it and you get it out there, this will solve you or save you hours of time drawing a little dashed line and a little dashed line and a little line and a little line and a line and a line and so on and forever. So that's all we got for now. Let's move on to the next tutorial.